it's Bree, and I have a story for you. Bree is back again with another story. Okay, so you know what? Sometimes I really sit and ask myself, do I want to be a tea channel? But no, because I'm not that invested in other people's lives. But I love the tea. I love talking shit. But I'm not about to go research the tea. I'm not going to seek the tea. I like when the tea comes to me. With that being said, I will take some tea and think to myself, how can I turn that into a video for me? If you guys don't know, there's a lot of YouTube drama going on in the beauty community. Particularly Jeffree Star, Manny MUA, and Laura Lee, Nikita Dragon. That bitch is not off the hook. If you know the drama, you know why I said that, but she's not off the hook. And yes, I have been obsessed with it. Basically, to give you guys a quick recap, this was all over tweets. Like, that pretty much sums up the whole situation. When I say, how can I take some tea and apply it to Bree, I'm gonna tell you guys about the time I got hacked on Twitter. Seeing how Twitter continues to be a downfall in so many influencers and people in the industry, so many celebrities, Twitter is really ruining a lot of hard-earned careers, I really do think. And that's the only thing that really sucks about it from my perspective, because I grew up on Twitter. Legit. I have an emotional connection to my Twitter account. That is a part of myself that I hate to love and I do love. Okay? So it's frightening to me, someone who just found their passion. Like, I just found what I'm passionate about. This is the first thing in my life I've ever been consistent at. And honestly, I can't even really like connect with you guys, but honestly, it would be devastating to me for my past self to sabotage everything that my current and future self are working for. So now that you guys know a little bit of a backstory into how this story time came about, if you've never been here before, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and click that red button and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell for notifications, because I know after this story, you're gonna wanna see Bree all the time, every time I upload. Okay, so let's get into the story. No, I'm not gonna eat kettle chips and talk to you guys. That's so annoying. This story is gonna be so juicy. I'm going to be unleashing some tea that I have to in order for you guys to really understand how I got hacked. So, hope you're ready. So basically, this happened, it feels like 2 years ago. I will probably say it was a year and a half ago though, but it feels like 2 years, but it was probably a year and a half. Damn near 2 years. Let's just say it was 2 years ago. So this is before I found YouTube. This is a time when I actually thought that I was gonna get famous on Twitter. Like, honey, I really thought that I was just gonna get famous off Twitter. Like, I was gonna have a career being Twitter famous. That's what I thought. In efforts to create this Twitter career that made sense in my mind, I joined a tweet deck. What is a tweet deck? A tweet deck is when you link your Twitter account to multiple other people's Twitter accounts. So imagine like the periodic table of elements. That's what a tweet deck looks like when you log in to tweetdeck.com. That's what it looks like. Pretty much what you do is you link your primary Twitter account to another primary Twitter account, and you authorize that main account to have control over your Twitter. That is how a tweet deck works. I explained that really good, like better than I even expected to. Now that you guys know what a tweet deck is, someone reached out to me, and let's call her Pluto, okay? So Pluto was literally the first person to ever reach out to me to join a tweet deck. I hate to give people fake names in stories. One, because I don't remember them. And two, because they're irrelevant. They don't even deserve to have a fake name. But I need her to have a fake name because She appears in the beginning and then she disappears and then she comes back like big in the end. And I need you guys to like know she needs like a name, you know what I'm saying? So to give you an even more in-depth description of what a tweet deck is, so you link your account to that primary account and then you join a group chat, and then you see that you're in a group chat with like 30 other people, legit like 30 other people, and all these other people have linked their accounts to this primary account, obviously. And like there's 4 people, there's sometimes even one, there's 1 to 4 people that are in control of all these accounts, and they don't even live like in the same time zone. Like there would be like 2 people on the East Coast, 2 people in the South, and like they just got together and decided, okay, we're gonna run a deck. Like they just came up with an idea like, okay, we're gonna run a deck. There would be like commotion in the group chats like, oh my god, when are we gonna open, when are we gonna open? Especially if you just took some fire pictures, like you want to get that, you know. And so, you know, I started to get in direct communications with these deck leaders because they needed other people to help run the accounts. Now that's step 1 into this T. What's a tweet deck? How does a tweet deck work? That's the first level of T. The second level of T is, as I got into these circles, which mind you, I don't even know how. I think I'm just an alpha personality. But as I got into these circles, I started to get the T on the actual people that was running these decks. Let's kind of like fast forward. I'm in all these decks. I'm running some decks. And I know the leaders. There would be like certain leaders of like 3 different decks. But there was always this one guy named, we're going to call him X. Okay? There was always this one guy who seemed to be the supreme king of Twitter decks. Okay, friends, so now we have arrived at the climax of the story. One of the side effects of being in a tweet deck was being hacked. We all knew this, and like I keep saying, it's addictive. We didn't care. We wanted the numbers. Last summer, the hacks started. Period, point blank. Like, the hacks started. And how was people getting hacked, Brianna? Okay, so they was doing like pictures in the toilet and everybody was getting retweeted. Or, because this is a fact, certain people in the deck would get like human feces retweeted on their page. And it wouldn't just be like, oh, like 4 pictures. Even though 4 pictures would be horrible. Like, if random pictures of crap in a toilet was retweeted on my page, just 4, I would die. I would die. But this was like 20. I heard that the hacking even started because X was mad that people were leaving his decks. So what did he do? He was dating Pluto. Y'all remember Pluto from the beginning of the story? He was legit dating her. And they didn't even live in the same state. Like, but they were dating. Okay? And so Pluto had a cousin named Z. Z was way cuter than Pluto. So Z could get into decks that Pluto couldn't get into. But Pluto was in like every single deck, y'all. Like on some crazy, like she was in like every single deck. And if she wasn't in a deck, it was because somebody literally had to reject her. Like, no, we don't want her in a deck. Every deck that she's in gets hacked. There started to be speculation that he was hacking his own decks because through the hacking, he was getting the accounts, he was getting their followers. And that's how he was continuing to gain and gain and gain. Kind of like Thanos in Infinity War, where it's like he was just like obliterating planets and stuff like that. He was kind of like Thanos. The hacking just got so annoying. And getting locked out of my account, it was just so annoying that I broke this Twitter persona that I had and making it seem like I was getting those numbers organically. And I told them, I'm like, look, I told my followers, I'm like, look, there's an underbelly to Twitter, and this is what's happening, and this is why you're seeing boo-boo all on your timeline, and this is why people's accounts are being suspended. This is the tea. And I spilt it. And I said that there was one main culprit, one main bully, and I put accountability to X's name. And I woke up the next day to multiple text messages from multiple different people in multiple different states saying you're hacked. Porn was being retweeted to my timeline. A lot of like just really graphic stuff was being retweeted. Luckily it was caught really quick. Like, I was getting more than text messages. I was legit getting phone calls from some people, and I woke up and I took care of it. Like, honestly, I took care of it. And I was freaking out. I was freaking out because although I tweeted and put responsibility to X, I didn't know that it was X at the time. I didn't. Like, I could tell this story and just say, okay, this person did this because they revealed themselves to do such. He popped up in the chat. Literally. Like, how did he pop up in the chat? I mean, let's be real. Z invited him into the chat. Because we were talking about Pluto, and we were talking about how we thought Pluto was a spy, and then Z started flipping out like Pluto's my cousin and this and that and this and that. And even though we were all in different states, honey, I know some of the girls looking at their phone like, okay, and like, so what? That's your cousin. This bitch is hacking shit. You know what I'm saying? And so it was so obvious. Like, okay, so we're talking about X, we're talking about Pluto, they date. Pluto is Z's cousin, and then next thing I know, X is actually in my group chat right now, taking full responsibility for hacking my shit and telling me specifically that it could have been so much worse, that my account could be gone forever. He was in our group chat harassing us, telling us like he could find our addresses, he could find our IP addresses. Like, this was like bigger than Twitter at this point. This was like, I want to harm your entire existence. I want to put fear in your heart. He called my phone number. How did he get my phone number? I don't know. Pluto had it. Pluto had my phone number because she invited me to the decks in the first place. I had a sense of loyalty to her. And she had my phone number. We communicated because we were both like creatives. And this is before I started to take being a creative serious. And this is before all of this beautiful stuff going on right here. And so we would talk about like haters. We would talk about like things that struggling young creatives go through. And so she did have my direct line. And I guess because they dated, and I didn't personally accuse her in the beginning, but I started to connect the dots like anybody with common sense. And I started to see that she would join a deck, and then 2 weeks later it would be hacked. And then she would join another deck and another deck and another deck and another deck. And even though it wouldn't be like in that exact same sequence, the decks that she joined did get hacked. But she gives this guy my phone number after he admitted to hacking my Twitter, after he admitted that he could have done so much worse to me on the internet. He was literally calling me. Then when that wasn't working, he starts sending me audio messages, okay? And he's like, I know you have influence over these girls. You have power over these girls. We need to join forces. We would be so much better together than enemies anyway. Your loyalty is with the wrong people. You need to choose your team correctly. It made me think that like he was on some kind of drugs, because to be up and to care so much about someone that's like 3,000, like he lived in Jersey. I live in California. Like, when is it ever that serious over Twitter? Like, when I say that I had legitimate fear in my heart, he was emailing me. I was getting calls, audio messages, texts. I was getting harassed in my group chat on Telegram. I was getting emails. Like, yeah, I was scared. I deactivated. I deactivated for a few days. I had to deactivate because I was so like, I was making so many reports to Twitter. I'm like, I'm being like, dude, like, yeah, I was hacked, but I was like hacked, bitch. And I wasn't the only one that was getting emails. Like, he was emailing other girls that he just had vendettas against. Vendettas. He wanted to go as far as hacking our Instagrams. There's no way that I can give you guys the sense of like borderline fear, because it really went from like something where it's like, oh, you know, he's violating our rights, he's violating, like, I was just standing up for something that he was doing wrong. He was being you know, obsessive with power, like obsessed with the power, and I felt like somebody had to say something. I was tired of all these like secret little like, oh my god, it was him, it was him, it was him. I was tired of all these little secret conversations. I was tired of people being embarrassed and humiliated. I was literally, and then there was girls that was being thrown under the bus. There was girls that were being crucified because X would be like, it wasn't me, it was her. From hearing all these girls' stories and like knowing the truth, like hearing what the deck leaders are saying, and the deck leaders are like, I don't care if it's the truth or not, this bitch has to go. And then talking to this girl and going, hey, like between me and you, I know that it wasn't you because I remember when you first joined decks. That is what made me want to stand up and say something. Because even if you weren't in a deck, it started to become obvious like what was happening, and I just wanted to do what was right in the time and like put responsibility on this person, not on all these other little people who are like not doing anything. They just want their clout and go, you know. And that turned me into a target, and I have no problem with that because I've always been outspoken and I will always stand up for what I believe is right, and I hate bullying. But you guys gotta understand that when it went beyond that to like my personal line and email, and it wasn't even like the email that she linked to your, it was like my email that I like signed up for Urban Outfitters and like Zara and stuff like that. Like it was like, how did you, so yeah, that's the story of how I got hacked, you guys. That is literally how I got hacked, and if you really think about it, I set myself up for that. If you guys are interested in more story times and more situations that could have just been avoided by better decision making skills, let me know in those comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and turn that thumbs up below. Support your girl. Get those fingers moving and let me know what story time you guys want to see next. If you guys missed my reactions, don't even trip. Go ahead and drop a suggestion, excuse me, in the description box below, because I'm gonna get back to that real quick, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to show all my subscribers all love and make sure that they all get a piece of brie. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time.